Hey everybody, this is Tom Vasel and welcome to Board Game Breakfast. Now this isn't my ordinary way of doing Board Game Breakfast. In fact, this is going to be kind of on the go. Me and Z, as of the time you watch this, we've gone to Midgard Convention in Iceland, and it's been an incredibly long delay, 24 hours here in Newark, which is of course a fantastic airport, but doesn't make for the best. I was hoping to show some Icelandic backgrounds here for Board Game Breakfast. Be that as it may, we got a lot of cool things for you in this show, including a new contributor. We have a lot of great things coming this week, some reviews and a top 10, we'll talk about that and things coming up this week. So right now, let's just get started. So since I'm traveling this week, I didn't have time to put together what I found on the internet, but I thought I would talk a little bit about how I put the things, or how I find them, I guess. One of them is, through email. Different people send me emails about various things, including you guys, and you find things for me. And if you have something interesting you'd like me to talk about, send it to tom@dicetower.com. Chris Barr, my editor, also finds a lot of stuff for me, so that's really helpful. I'm glad that, he helps me to put that together. But I also go out and find things on my own. One of the places that I go to is Facebook. Facebook is often a better place that people put up information about their own companies more than their websites. Facebook and Twitter are fantastic ways to keep up to date with companies. And I guess it's easier to send out social media than it is to do to keep up a website. So if I want to know about companies, the first place I'll go to is Facebook. Then I check out sites like Board Game Geek. Board Game Geek is a fantastic site. I'll check out active threads to see what people are talking about. People will mention things in game forums. Of course, we have our own news website, I said, like dicetowernews.com. But Eric Martin has stuff that he'll talk about on Board Game News. But sometimes I'll find Geek Lists. There's all sorts of interesting things. Board Game Geek's like sifting through a haystack with a fork a little bit at a time. There's a ton there. But I've gotten better at it over the years, and looking for things there can often be really helpful, especially when you look at something that might point to something else. There's a lot you can find there. And then there's Reddit. Reddit is huge amounts of stuff, just as big as Board Game Geek, honestly. Just all kinds of threads and stuff. And Reddit gets a rap for having some very negative interaction, and some of that's very deserved. If I want to find the worst criticism about anything, Reddit's got your back. But at the same time, if there's weird, unique, cool things, Reddit's where I often find out about them. Some from people telling you about their own stuff, other people saying, hey, look at this cool thing I found. And so really, when I go to the internet and I'm like, what board game stuff am I going to look up today? Well, I don't look up Dice Tower. I would hope that a lot of people do, but I don't look that up because that's me. But I go to Reddit, I go to Board Game Geek, and I go to Facebook. And then I often go to YouTube and check my subscriptions there. So anyway, that's just some of the stuff that I do. That's some of the ways that I find stuff for the things I found on the internet. If you find anything interesting, like I said before, send it to me at tom@dicetower.com.
Hi, it's Stella from Meeple University. This time I'm going to share you board game accessories that I have discovered recently and haven't stopped using when playing board games coming up. First one is this flexible Board Game Geek holders. I like how they enhance your gameplay. You put your cards and board game bits on it. They have front and back slot as well for the cards. I think that looks so cool. They free up your hands and keep things organized. They are quite solid, a little heavy, and a little flexible, and come in many different colors. The second one is Board Game Geek bit balls. Like the bit holders, the material is pretty flexible and a little heavy and solid. They come flat, so they are great to carry around. Just slide the buttons on the four corners. They keep all the small board game bits organized and together. Helps especially with games with lots of components. Both Board Game Geek's accessories, I grabbed these from Origins Game Fair, but they're also available online at Board Game Geek Shop. Last but not least, I have here the bit ball from Annette, or we know her here at Board Game Breakfast as Net Displays. These are a bit like Board Game Geek bit balls, but it is made from felt, so it is a bit lighter and they clip all in the four corners together. Another thing about these bit balls, At the end of the game, you can just unclip one corner and tip the board game bits inside the bowl over to the clip bag for storage. I find this really easy, neat, organized, and really fast. I'm sure lots of you have used these accessories before. If not, hope I can convince you to get them. Thanks for watching. We are Meeple University on YouTube. See you next time.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
My name is Dave Luza.
I'm Ilka Luza, and these are
The Essentials. Yes, question you might have going to Essen. You're not from here. Well, we are from here, so we can tell you stuff. People have asked what to do if you've got time to spend. How about, Ilka, the Oktoberfest?
It's in September. I'm very sorry to say there's something wrong with the name. There's a tradition. I have no idea why. The real one is in Munich, which is really far away. It's a whole day of traveling to go there.
To get there. And then do stuff. And then a whole day to get back, which might be too long for you.
Cologne, I would recommend. The Cologne Cathedral, which has been built over the time period of 1,000 years.
In Düsseldorf, you've got the Aqua Zoo.
The Phenomania is a nice science museum in Essen. Really, really cool. And I found a cool family cafe that I want to mention here. I want to give a shout out to the Krümel Cafe. Krümel, the German name for crumbs. There's a nice island in the river, on the River Ruhr, the Bremen Insel, and you can walk around there with your kids. Maybe dad is at the fair or mom, and you take the kids for a nice trip, and then you can go there and eat. The kids can play, and you can have food.
Yeah, amusement park-wise, there is one in between Cologne and Bonn, which is called Phantasialand. But if you want to do something really cool, then head over the border to the Netherlands, which is like a 90-minute drive to get to the Efteling, or Dutch Disney, as I would like to call it. It's beautiful. It's got some thrill rides. It's a huge park. It has a fairy tale forest that is very cool to bring your smaller kids to. You probably need a car or take public transportation, which is really a good option, but it will take you longer to get there. But it really is something you should check out.
Anything food-wise you want to check out on the Rüttenscheider Straße, which is the main street close to the Messe, we recommend make a reservation, and you should have probably made it a month ago because it's going to get crowded. What restaurants do we recommend?
Oh, the Mongolian barbecue I went to was amazing. And Fitzpatrick, which is the Irish pub.
Isn't it Fitzpatrick?
I don't know.
I
It's
have no idea.
Irish. It might get crowded, but it is a good place to have a drink and have some food. So that's it for today's Essentials. Thanks for watching. My name is Dave Luza.
I'm Ilka Luza.
Keep your questions coming. Bye.
Bye.
So what's coming from the Dice Tower this week? Well, first of all, I'm going to be trying to show some footage from the Midgard convention in Iceland, but I'm also going to be doing a two small top 10 lists, my top 10 small annoyances in gaming and my top 10 small joys in gaming, trying to counter with the different things that are going on there. So I have that going on. We're going to be doing a big top 10 this week, our top 10 games for new gamers. So gateway games, if this is your first time in the hobby, what are 10 games that you should check out? That's what we're going to be talking about. So we're excited about that. And again, of course, there's going to be lots of cool reviews that we're posting this week. So I'm really, we have all that. We have a podcast from me and Eric that's going to be going up where we talk about our top 10 games that start with the letter H, I think. Except one of us forgot an important one. But we mentioned it in the episode, and you can always see our episodes. We record them live every other week, so keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, we got some live stuff coming this week. Our top 10 list is one of those live things and more. And you can see all that on our YouTube channel. And check out all our wonderful podcasts at DicetowerNetwork.com.
Right, folks. Well, with me now is Jerry Hurley, who has a brand new game that he's bringing to the market. So welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Hello.
Now, Jerry, this is not your first game. What other games have you designed in the past?
The one that was published was called Sly Dice, and then designed a couple other games, but those are in the works, so those will come out later. This is the first game that's going to come out. I'm publishing it myself on Kickstarter.
Now, what made you start designing? What made you decide to design games?
Yeah, good question, Tom. I'm a hardcore gamer, like I know you are, and of course most of the audience is hardcore. But I've been playing games since I was 5 years old. I was a war gamer. Grew up playing the old Evelyn Hill games, running tanks to the front lines, doing supply lines. And my dad, in all honesty, has 3,000 board games, and
Really?
so I played 3,000, Tom, 3,000. And so I've played all tons of games, and my dad's one of those guys, where a new game is hitting the table all the time, and so I've been exposed to all these different types of games. And of course, everybody wants to see if they can make a game work at some point, and I can just pull so many concepts from so many games. I'm like, well, let's do this. Let's take the best of the best and try and bring it into a new concept and make something new, that comes from the culmination of all the other mechanics. And we have this, Ultimate Rush.
Well, tell me a little bit about the area where you live, and is there a lot of people there who come and play these games with you? Do you have a hard time finding people to play test your games?
No, when we did this one, I grew up in Wisconsin, and I've been living in Latvia for the last 5 years, which if you don't know, it's in Eastern Europe. It's right next to Russia. And
so what's the gaming scene like in Latvia?
It's pretty good. It's pretty vibrant. They have their own small convention. They have a number of groups that will try to get together at a mall or whatever it is to try to bring people into to gaming. I would say it's pretty good. When I was playtesting this game, I always had a guy. He worked at a game store, and a lot of times we could bring in people down in the basement and some of the people that worked there or after hours and whatever. So we had playtesters pretty much all the time.
So tell us a little bit about this game, Ultimate Rush. What is it?
Yeah. So Ultimate Rush, what it really is it's an adrenaline-pumping game that brings fun and excitement to the table every time it's played. What's unique about it is that it has a real-time element to it where people are putting their cards together to gather resources, and then they're grabbing a turn order token as quick as they possibly can. Now, I just want to say one thing right off the bat. Sometimes when people say, well, what's this real time going on? Am I going to like that? I know about strategy. I'm all for strategy. This has gamer level strategy all over the place on it. And one thing to say is that we got a review from Everything Board Games, and he put it out to about 20 different groups. He says he hit the table with over 20 different groups. And he was telling them, it's got some real time to it. He said some people kind of rolled their eyes at first, but when they got done, he says that everybody loved it. So, this is like 60 to 100 people or something.
So how long does the game last?
When you're first starting out, it'll go maybe about 10 minutes per player. But once people know the rules, you can actually rack out a game in about 5 minutes per player. It plays really fast. Yeah.
So what made you decide to get into the publishing aspect of the industry?
Well, when it really comes down to it, if you want everything done the way you want it, the way you want your art, the way you want all the pieces to come together, if you want a quality game, if you want the rules written the way you want them, if you want quality at the highest levels, as the old saying goes, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. So, you know how much work it takes, but if you want to craft and make sure every aspect is perfect, you got to be there every day doing it yourself.
So I'm assuming that you found some interesting challenges being a publisher as opposed to being a designer.
Oh yeah, it's insane, and especially going out on Kickstarter is just insanity. 6-day work weeks and 15-hour days and the whole thing. So yeah, nothing really prepares you for how much images, how much ad copy you have to put out. So that everybody can see your game. A whole Kickstarter wall is text made by graphic designers, and those don't get made in a few days. If you want a complex image with every part just how you want it, well, they send it out, you got to send it back. They send it out, you got to go for more fixes. So, just months just to get the Kickstarter page is just months of work.
One of the words that you use in your copy, and you mentioned it even earlier in this interview, is this adrenaline pumping. And when I hear adrenaline pumping in a game, I think video games. Did video games have some influence on your design of this?
Yeah, I'm a total game addict, Tom. Like I was saying before, I've been playing games since I was 5. I was the Atari 2600 master, and I'm a hardcore board gamer, but I always understand that video games and kind of a quick action can play. Most of the concepts in this game were taken from board games, but yeah, there's a little bit of video gaming in here, I guess, just in the quickness.
Well, where did the theme come from then?
The theme came from, we wanted to have monsters that were not just normal. So the theme is that portals have opened up in the sky, and monsters from all over the universe are pouring in to attack the king's castle and steal his gold and just ravage the kingdom. So the king says to all you heroes, get out there and defend the land, and whoever becomes the most famous, I'll throw you a legendary party and you win the game. So the theme comes from, a lot of different concepts. Fighting monsters is always cool. Fantasy, wizards, all this stuff. Dying, you have to make sure you can stay alive. You can die up to 3 times in this game. And we wanted to maybe give sometimes even a little pop culture also mixed with fantasy. So it's not just dragons, or it's not just we have a star mermaid. Here, I can show you some of the pictures here. This is the Skeleton King. We call him Dungeon Master, level skills 9,000. He's playing the game for real, as you can see. He's got monsters on his board. Here you've got the selfie-taking dragon. Sure, he's got some barbarians at his gate, but he's more concerned about taking a selfie. We've got the star-stealing mermaid. She's going to try and blight out the sky, take away your stars. And we've got the mushroom fox. He laughs and he turns your hand into a mushroom, so you basically can't do anything. But these are the concepts that we wanted to bring together, and we've got a whole deck full of fun monsters, and also all of these monsters that are here. Here's one for you, Tom. We made Big Baby Monster with all your kids. You know how they turn into monsters. We've got the cosplay T-Rex. And all the monsters have unique stats also. So, I mean, some of the monsters get repeated, their picture, but every monster in here, all the stats are unique.
So I'm seeing definitely you're putting a dose of humor in this. It's not, the game's not taking itself too seriously. Who'd you get to do the art?
Yeah, not at all. We try to bring fun in here, and something I just want to say real quick when back to the adrenaline pumping is that once people start getting the game here, you'll notice that they start going like this, and they do start bouncing in their chairs. I mean, it's real, and they're like, "Let's play, let's go!" And usually, when this game hits the table, it gets played 3 or 4 times in a row because they want to hit it again. They want to hit that peak again. About the art, the main artist is Martina Fakova. And there's a couple other artists, but she was the main one.
Alrighty, so if people want to get this game, where would they go?
Yeah. So, I mean, when this airs, we're on Kickstarter. Hopefully, we're lighting the place up and we're going crazy. There's 2 different pledge levels. There's a standard and there's a deluxe edition. If I can regale you, Tom, and everybody who's watching, everybody loves the pieces already. This is a prototype, but they rave about the art. If you can see here on the character board, this is 3mm, Tom. And really nice and solid. All the tokens are 3mm. These, the turn order tokens, that's 3mm, so that you can grab them all very easy. And also the stretch goals we're going to have in there so we can really glitz up the game. I'm all about masterpiece games, fine-looking products, just beautiful looking. So UV varnish on here. There's going to be plastic cards that are available, and not just the wimpy little small plastic cards. We're going to up them to, the wimpy ones are like 0.3mm. Then you can get 0.4mm and 0.5mm. So with the stretch goals, we'll be able to hit that. Thick cards. Everything's going to be nice. I want it to be a masterpiece.
All righty, well, here's hoping that it will become one. Folks, if you want to check this out, we'll have a link in the description to the video below. Thanks so much, Jerry, for coming on.
Tom,
we wish you great success.
Yeah, well, thank you much. Can I, if you can, I just want to show you my my little shrine here as our token to how we keep Ultimate Rush over here. And I just want to say that some people leave their games on shelves, but I put my games on plush.
So what's getting added to the library this week? Well, we have Caravan. It's a nice new game from Rio Grande, moving goods through camels. To the kids' library, we're going to add Splat Attack because it's a lot of fun to have miniature games, and the kids should have them too. I hunted down an old copy of Imperial. I really don't like this game, but I know many people do, so into the library it goes. Steam, the game that was kind of the replacement for Age of Steam. So that's a cool one. We have another copy of Sagrada because it's so popular, the dice placement game. Legacy. This is an older game that if you never played it, you should. One of the first games from Floodgate. It's Legacy Gears of Time. The two-player game Foothills. And Power Rangers, because why would you not put Power Rangers in the library? Also, I got a pile of games from North Star Games. We have Crappy Birthday. It's a fun birthday party game about giving people bad gifts. Evolution the beginning, Evolution Flight, and Evolution Climate. Evolution games are very popular. And then, of course, one of my favorite party games, Wits and Wagers. And a game not a lot of people have heard of, but it's very good, Warsaw City of Ruins. As long as another great party game, Say Anything. So besides North Star, I also am adding the Queen of Hansa. Really enjoy this little game. Another game from Floodgate, Vault Wars. That was pretty fun. For the kids' library, Micro Monsters, Master Fox, Fun Farm, and Pingo Pingo. All this being added to the library this week.
What's up everyone, my name is Melissa McCack and this is Smashing Buttons and Slamming Cards. This is a segment where I talk about a video game I love and I connect it to a board game I love. And this week I want to talk about Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the video game for the Wii. In that game, you're playing as all sorts of different characters that are found throughout the entire Nintendo universe, and they each have their own special abilities, and you play it out on a map of your choice, and you can duke it out with your friends or in online play. Personally, I like Super Smash Bros. Brawl the best out of the Super Smash series because I'm one of those crazy people who actually plays for the campaign instead of the competitive experience. I want to connect that to King of Tokyo, the board game. In King of Tokyo, you're playing as all sorts of different monsters, and if you have the power-up expansion, they have their own special abilities as well. And you're duking it out, again, on this map against your friends. Now, just like in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, there could be items that are falling out of the sky that you could grab to give your character an extra boost. And you could do that in King of Tokyo as well, where there's different sort of cards that you can purchase with energy. And they also give your monsters some sort of boost in power. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your breakfast.
Hey everyone, it's Nick from Mental Health Minute, and I want to talk about TCGs and CCGs. All those types of Gs. Collectible card games, things of that nature. I want to talk about that because I, myself, as my shirt provides, I am a Magic the Gathering player. I have been for many years. I also love myself some Marvel Legendary, which is that white box up there. What about these games is so addicting? Well, the receptors in our brain love completing tasks and love finishing things. And that's why for Marvel Legendary, I have every card that's ever been made. Is that practical? Not really. Am I going to be able to use every combination in that situation? Probably not, but I need to have it. I need to collect it. I need to own it. I need to make it part of my whole world. And that's because my brain just loves the idea of saying, oh, here's a task, let's complete it. Here's a collection, let's complete it. What about it is so addicting? It hits our receptors in ways that are so addicting that it's impossible to ignore. Some people played Netrunner and Magic at the same time while doing games like Marvel and stuff like that. That's a lot of stuff to collect at all times, and I must have it, and it must be in binders, and it must be designated by color or rarity or alphabetical order. And it's just the idea that this is mine, I've completed it, what's next? Oh, there's a random promo out that I don't have, I have to find it. It's enjoying the hunt, it's enjoying the process almost as much as it is enjoying the game itself. Gamers are collectors. As you can see, this is a collection. This is something that matters to me. It matters to you. It matters to all of us. It matters to say that we've done this. This is ours. That we've completed this. And it never ends. Which is sometimes for some people just exactly what they need. So, my name's Nick. Thank you for Mental Health Minute. And enjoy your...
I've been recording these segments here at the airport, and I've had to record them dozens of times. And that's because there's constantly noise and stuff that's been getting on in the background. And that's what it is. That's why we record in the studio, right? And not record in the road. But as I thought about this noise, I thought about one of the age-old arguments at conventions, and that is Happy Salmon against a heavy Euro game. It doesn't have to be Happy Salmon, it doesn't have to be a heavy Euro game, but those are the ones I think about. Because Happy Salmon, if you've never seen it from North Star Games, is a fast, loud, players are interacting with each other. Everyone has a fantastic time playing it, but people are running around a table, they're screaming, and they're laughing. It is really fun. You play a heavy Euro game, an 18xx game, a heavy war game, there's often silence, thoughtfulness, contemplation about moves. Those two games probably aren't going to be best in the same room or in the same table. This is something I've been thinking about with our convention at Dice Tower, is that I'm probably going to make rooms where those games just aren't allowed. Now, don't get me wrong. I love those games. I love Werewolf, Two Rooms and a Boom, Happy Salmon, all those Time's Up with the groups. That stuff's fun. But we have to be careful sometimes that our fun doesn't come at the expense of others. Now, it's not fun. I've been at a game before where I shouted in joy when something happened. We rolled dice and I shouted with joy, and the guy at the table next to me was like, "Come on, be quiet." And it's like, well, now he's robbing me from my joy. So there has to be some sort of peace there. There has to be some sort of back and forth. Not everybody's going to get exactly what they want, but I think there needs to be a compromise. And when we talk about gaming, we often talk about, hey, how are you making the other people at the table feel? You know, are you treating them politely? Are you treating them well? And I think it's an important thing. That's certainly something we talk about here. But we also need to think about, how am I making the people at the other tables feel? You know, the ones around me. And I'm sure everyone watching this has been in a situation one time where there was one rowdy table, whether the table was drinking and everyone there was just being over the top, loud and boisterous, or whether they were just having silly fun and being over the top, loud and boisterous. Then maybe you've often had the other extreme where you just thought you were having a good time, and it seems like a table of people who were just like, "Stop it, we need complete silence." Everyone just needs to be thoughtful around them. If you want to play a game in complete silence, you're probably best off playing a game at your house, right? That's the only place you're going to get complete silence and nobody talking to you. But at the same time, that doesn't give me I'm like, well, you're in a public place, I'm going to be as noisy as I want. So at conventions, I think maybe it's best to say this is the room where people are going to be loud, and this is the room where we want it to be somewhat quieter. I think that's a good compromise, and we'll have to see how that works in the future. Of course, some conventions don't have that. In some conventions, like we just did the Dice Tower Retreat, there's just one room. You're just going to have to do what you can. But you have to consider that. So if I'm going to play a quiet game, then I'm going to probably try to play in a corner of the room that's quieter than the rest. And if I'm going to play a loud game, I want to look around and see how few people can I annoy in the spot that I'm playing. Noise. It's something we all deal with. I have 7 children. Only 6 are at home right now, so that's not bad. But the noise level gets high. I love it. I thrive in it. But sometimes I need quiet. And so do we sometimes when we're playing games.
Hey everyone! Today on To Paint or Not To Paint, I'm going to take you through Zombie 15. Hey everyone, Matt here from The Plastic Canvas, and welcome to Paint or Not to Paint, a series where I quickly take you through a game and then talk about whether I think it's worth spending the time to paint the miniatures in it or not. And today we're taking a look at Zombie 15. This is a co-op survival game where players take on the role of teenagers that have survived the zombie apocalypse, and by moving around, killing zombies, completing objectives, you move from scenario to scenario. So, is this game worth painting? I really thought about this for quite a while and sort of went back and forth between yes and no. And in the end, I decided that it is a no for Zombie 15. Now, I love this game. I am more than happy every single time it comes to the table. But just purely because of the nature of this game, it moves at such a quick pace. Everyone's so frantic and stressed, but in a good way. These minis just don't spend the time on the table for the time that you put into painting them to have the impact that you want it to. So, when you kill a group of zombies, you just grab them, put them off to the side of the board, or even when the horde comes in, you just grab that box, dump it on the tile. You might have time to stand them back up, but everything's happening so quickly. These guys just don't sit on the table. to be looked at for long enough to make the time that it takes to paint them worth it. There's 100 or 101 zombies in the game, plus 8 or 9 playable characters. You're looking at 109, 110 characters, something like that. Even if you can paint them really, really quickly, it's still a bit of a time investment. And so, yeah, with the time they spend on the table, I just don't think it's worth prioritising this game over another one that you've got in your queue. So, if you want to see a full review for this game, check out the Dice Tower review, and if you'd like to see me painting some minis, head over to my channel, The Plastic Canvas, and I hope you enjoy your breakfast.
I'm back, baby! Oh yeah! Hi, welcome to Dead Last, segments that I do whenever I can, and I've been away for a little while, and by that I mean a long while, but I'm back! Thankfully, and I've got some hard-hitting, hard fighting news for you, and that's this. Ain't it annoying that boxes are too big? It is though, right? I hate it when boxes are too big for my shelves. It drives me up the wall. It really aggravates me. I have this amount of space for board games. Yes, I have more space in my life, but they're already taken over every other aspect of my entire well-being, so I can't just let them take over my whole room. So what I've been doing is destroying all the boxes for expansions, which admittedly did feel weird because you're kind of breaking part of the product that you've paid for, you know? Because when you get an expansion, it comes in a nice little box. That looks nice. But you don't need it. So destroying it does feel like destroying part of the game, which is odd, but I'm taking a stand. It's my thing I hate the most, when boxes are too big, first and foremost, and when boxes are just... expansion boxes don't need to be... I just don't need them in my life. I'm getting rid of them. Maria Kondo, eat your heart out. Joy. There's no joy here. So, how do you feel? How do you feel about expansion boxes? Because they drive me absolutely insane. Let me know, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye.
And that's it for another board game breakfast. Probably not the best quality one here, being at the airport, seeing all the different things that are going on. But if I saw you at Midgard, I had a fantastic time. I was glad to see you, and thanks so much for coming. Assuming we make it in time. If the rest of the time, though, come watch our stuff on this channel. We have a lot of cool things. I'm excited about our top 10 list. We have our top 10 list for next week planned too. And so there's lots of cool things coming from the Dice Tower. But until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and we'll see you all. Have fun gaming.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vasel and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production, sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., an amazing place to buy board games. Cool stuff, in stock, at CoolStuffInc.com.